This episode is brought to you by
JG
Graybill!
Woo! Now enjoy the episode.
This is All Sports All the Time.
Starting.
Episode 123. It is just
1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
me and Luke this week. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Happy 1, 2, 3 day.
Episode 1, 2, what?
Yeah.
Wouldn't 1, 2, 3 day have been January 2nd,
2nd.
2003?
But that'd be 1, 2, 0, 3.
So
It's gonna be January 2nd.
it's always going to be
3,456. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
It's gonna be a historic day.
If we make it that far. Dark turn at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
A great start.
Because happy Halloween, spooky day.
Yeah, this will come out November 1st, so Halloween will have just wrapped up. Luke, you were telling me right before we started that Parker's Halloween costume involved tights.
Oh, it did.
And he was
Let me get a picture.
a little too into them.
I don't know if I have one on my phone.
You can
but
text it to me so I can put it up
Yeah,
here in
let me get it.
post. But I want to hear any details you have about Parker wearing these tights and...
Well, he kept stretching his leg out
yeah.
and like flexing his quad and was like, "Man, these look good. I should wear these to school." And I said, "Yes, you should."
Wow.
It was
What was
interesting
he?
looking. He was Peter Pan.
Oh, okay. So that's reasonable. And that explains... Oh, okay. A couple weeks ago when we were starting our fantasy hockey league that none of us know anything about, Luke put all of us in a group chat and was like, "Hey, the draft is happening at 3. Parker complained that he missed it, even though he didn't respond, saying he wasn't available at 3. Anyways, but then he did send all of us a picture of a computer with green tights on it, and then didn't send anything after that. Like, we all
No
asked him about
context.
it and just didn't respond. So
Yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
that
I
was.
understood it, but no one else did.
Yeah,
'Cause
we asked questions and he just nothing.
neglected.
Silence. So that makes much more sense now.
Yes.
When it's
it
Peter
does.
Pan, huh? Did he? The picture he sent us, they looked like somebody took a green screen and like
Put it on-
sewed it into
Yeah.
the pants.
Parker looked like a walking green screen.
So we could do a bit with that probably. We could hang up our green screen, and then I don't know what we would do, but it would look like Parker.
I've
was
done
just
that
the
before
torso.
at a movie camp. I'll have to show those movies to you sometime. But I did a movie camp in like 5th or 6th grade, and one of the requirements in our movie was to have a commercial break, and it was like an ad in the middle. And one of the ads was for floating head syndrome. So basically, what we did was we had someone wear a green shirt and go on a green screen, go behind a green screen, and so it looked like it was just a floating head, and we were like, it was like one of those medicine things, and like it was fun.
Side
then
effects may include.
yeah, that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
And it was funny.
Nice. Parker and I broke one of Mrs. Hazlett's plants. Oh, nice.
I mean, he
There you
made a
go.
pretty good Peter Pan, I
That-
gotta say.
Parker, let's just say Parker pulls off Peter Pan better than Luke pulls off Captain Hook. No, I'm kidding. That was... Parker's Peter Pan is pretty nice. Although, Parker might be a little bit too old, but if anybody were to play the guy who never grows up,
It would totally
it's
be
Parker. It's Parker.
Yeah.
So, nice. Yeah, I'll put those up here, so if you guys are watching on YouTube, then you will see Parker and Luke's costumes, and you can zoom in on Parker's legs if you...
Want to see his
If
very
that's-
immense quads, as he
Yeah.
likes to call them.
Mm-hmm, exactly. One more story from this week before we get to the sports stuff. Luke called me earlier this week and was outraged that a woman at Marshall's
Yeah, I was stereotyped.
him.
No,
he's
not
still
Marshall's,
mad about
Michael's.
it, apparently.
Michael's.
Oh, Michael's,
Like
sorry.
the craft store.
He was apparently still mad about it.
I am. So here, story time. I'm in line, right, and I'm waiting patiently like any normal person does. There's
You don't cut the line?
No.
Wow.
A register opened up, so I go up to the register, and she was nice, as she seemed nice, and she was like, "Is this it for you today? Did you have trouble finding anything?" I was like, "Nope, found everything okay." Blah blah blah. I went through the whole process, paid, everything was done. Any normal time checking out at a store. And as I'm walking away, the next woman walks up, and this woman, like your average middle-aged mom or woman, I don't know, that goes to a craft store to maybe buy some yarn or something like that. I don't know. And she asks her, "Are you a member with us? And if not, would you like to become one?" And then in my mind, I'm just like,
it dawned on you.
what if I was a member? She didn't ask me if I was a member. Just because I'm a teenage boy in a craft store buying something for a Halloween costume does not mean that I can't be a member at this store. Just because I'm not a middle-aged white mom doesn't mean I can't be a member at this craft store.
But this lady it's probably not her first day, and I'm assuming she knows Michael's demographic, and it's not teenage boys.
But that's the thing. That's stereotyping.
It seems like a fair assumption, though.
No, but assuming is stereotyping. You heard it here. Assuming is stereotyping. And by assuming that I wasn't a member there, she was stereotyping me as a teenage boy who makes fun of craft stores in their sleep. Amen.
What a weird thing to do in your sleep. But, okay. I think that's I didn't understand why you were so upset. I was like, if I were at a craft store,
But what if
and
I wanted
a teenage boy is there, I'm assuming he's not a member. What are you a member to? Because I'm guessing as a teenager, you haven't been shopping by yourself enough to be a member to really anything.
Most food places that I go to, I'm a member because I download the app
Discounts.
because, yeah, it's better.
It's easy.
I
Any
think
stores,
I think I have a membership at American Eagle.
Which demographic? Teenage boys.
Fair
mostly.
enough. Yeah.
So, fair assumption.
Fair
If you were in
assumption.
an American Eagle, they would probably
But-
ask you, are you a member?
She could have asked me, "Are you a member?" And I'd be like, "No, but my mom is. Here's her phone number." And like, but no.
So you spent the extra $2 for
Oh, I
being-
think it was only
not
$2.
being a member. Oh, what were you getting at Michael's?
It was like some string,
Oh, yeah, okay. So
like
you
a
maybe
little
would have
pack of
saved
leather
10
string.
cents. So that's also kind of on you for not remembering that your mom was a member. and
No, I did
bringing it
remember
up.
that she was. I could have brought
You
it up.
could have
but
brought
that's
it
weird.
up then.
That's weird.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say, "Oh, memorize me."
Memorize?
When am I ever gonna go to Michael's ever again?
Which is exactly why she correctly stereotyped you.
Yeah, but stereotyping is incorrect.
But she was right, because you're not
Yeah, just 'cause-
you're not gonna be back.
Listen, if I murdered someone and said, "Oh, well, they were bad,"
Whoa,
that was
whoa,
the
whoa,
right
whoa,
thing
whoa,
to
stop,
do.
stop, stop. You went from being a member at Michael's to murder.
Yeah.
How are you? Don't connect those things.
Yeah, but it's the
Sorry,
same
continue.
thing.
I just had to pause so we could all realize the connection
stop, hold
you're
on.
trying to
Owen,
make.
do you believe in good and bad people?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying, like,
Where are you?
if Hitler is sitting right, if he's
What?
sitting right in front of you,
I thought you were gonna say if Hitler walks into a Michael's.
but Hitler was really into his art, so
Okay,
that would
okay.
be stereotyping.
So where are you going with this? If I'm at
If Hitler's right in front of you,
uh-huh.
and he's
I'm not
a
at a
bad
Michael's.
person. No, you're not a Michael's.
Okay.
You're just like in a room.
All right.
And you were to kill him, right? Like
Uh-huh.
people are like, hold on, I gotta figure out how I was gonna word
How are
this.
you gonna
It made sense in my
How
head.
are you going to connect this to being a member at Michael's?
It made
Or
sense
not
in my
being a
head.
member?
So Hitler's stereotyped as a bad person,
Mhm.
and so
Correctly stereotyped, probably.
so you think it's right to kill him just because he was stereotyped as a bad person?
You just got into a really deep philosophical
Exactly.
point.
Just
but
because
that's
it's
I guess.
no.
If he
because
were- if he were-
you shouldn't kill anybody. In the Bible, it says, "Thou
Is
shalt
this-
not murder."
Is this like Hitler's just there and you don't know who he is, or like
No,
this is Hitler in the
This
middle
is
of
Hitler
his?
in the middle of his
thing.
reign.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, Hitler is stereotyped as a bad person.
You've just put me in a really tough spot.
Exactly.
Here. Thanks.
And it all goes back to Michael's.
I don't know what I would do. Please, yeah, loop this back. How?
Yeah, it's the same exact. It's the same exact situation. Okay, I can't. I don't know if I should say it, but in this situation, I'm Hitler.
Okay.
And she's stereotyping me as the kind of person who would not be a membership at Michael's, and she kills me. That doesn't make it right. but she did it anyway.
So you're saying that her wrongly stereotyping you is the same as killing Hitler?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that
Makes
makes
sense?
total sense.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, I'm glad we did too.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yep.
Oh my word. Parker's picks versus Bagley's picks.
Yeah.
Transition. They both picked the Cardinals on Thursday night. They were both very on the fence about it. Both went with the safer pick. Were both wrong because the Packers won thanks to Rasul Douglas's interception.
Yes, and AJ Green's disconnection to the TV.
Yeah.
Or to his controller.
As Eagles fans, kind of shocking that Rasul Douglas is still on a roster.
Yeah.
Because he did nothing for us for a solid 3 years.
And on another note, as Eagles fans, I didn't really care who won that game. I wanted the Cardinals to win for Zach, but I also wanted to see the Packers win because I like the Packers. Like,
yeah,
there's-
it was
I
just a
didn't-
fun game.
yeah, it was an entertaining game. It was a great game. And, like, to me, whoever won didn't really affect me at all because they were both very good teams, and neither of them are going to affect the Eagles because the Eagles are very bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it didn't matter to me who won at all. So
yes.
it was just entertaining.
Could you pull up your picks for this week? And
Do you have Parker's?
And then call Parker because I just realized I did not ask Parker for his picks. That is not Parker's fault. That is entirely my fault. We'll see if we can get his picks or not.
I texted him, and if he doesn't see it in... Oh, he texted him too.
Yeah, we double texted Parker, so there's twice the chance of him seeing this.
Or twice the not chance. We're going to call him.
If we don't get his picks, then we'll just give you Luke's, and we will post Parker's so that we have...
Parker, you're
Hey!
live. Say hi to the viewers.
Hi, viewers.
Okay. Can you just send your picks to Owen?
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot to
Okay.
ask you. My fault.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
What was he doing?
It was very,
Okay.
very
Bye.
staticky, and yeah.
He sounded like...
Or not
dead.
staticky, kind of like fuzzy, and it sounded like, yeah, he was not doing great. So that'll be interesting. We'll see about that. So Parker's sending his picks over. Luke, could you pull yours up? We can just give yours, and then we will compare them to Parker's.
Okay.
Parker is up by 2 games. on
Yes,
Luke.
he is. Leading off this week in the bottom of the first is the Atlanta Falcons. I have them over the Panthers. I have the Bills over the Dolphins. I have the Niners over the Bears. The Browns over the Steelers. I have the Eagles over the Lions because, I mean, we're bad, but if we lose to 0-7, then we're a joke. We're not, I mean, we're just bad right now, but if we lose to 0-7, we're a joke.
Yes.
I have the Titans over the Colts. I have the Bengals over the Jets, who, by the way, I love the Bengals this year. They are my bandwagon team.
I mean, last week you said they were looking hot, and
they
then immediately
they're
after,
even hotter right now.
they
Like,
crushed the Ravens.
they're the sun.
So.
I have the Rams over the Texans. I have the Chargers over the Patriots. Seahawks over the Jaguars. Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jaguars. That's a weird word to say.
Jaguars.
Guars. I have the football team over the Broncos. I have the Bucks over the Saints. Cowboys over the Vikings. And the Chiefs over the Giants. Because the Chiefs are bad, but the Giants are worse.
And just like everybody predicted, the Chiefs are 1 game better than the Giants, record-wise, as we all thought was going to be the case. I'm
felt
actually really excited for Cowboys-Vikings.
That is
Sunday night game.
Yeah,
That's a good
it's
Sunday
gonna be a
night
good
game.
matchup. I felt like most of the picks this week were not straightforward, but I feel like last week there were a lot of either way games.
I picked every single favorite this week.
I think
I did not have a single upset pick.
that I don't think I did either.
So we picked the same. It's very likely that you and Parker could have picked the same this week. Because
There's a lot of Oh no,
There's
I have
football
team over Broncos. That's upset.
1. That one might be different. But yeah, there's a lot of kind of boring games.
Yeah.
So the Sunday night game is good. Football team Broncos is good in that it's even.
Yeah, evenly matched. They're both so bad that
Yeah.
it's good.
You'll get the storyline of Bucks versus Saints because it's like Jameis against his old team, and it's just
How
two
did Parker
rivals.
not send his picks yet?
I have no idea.
Did he text them to you individually?
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
did.
did.
Good sleuthing, Luke. All right, Parker's picks are the same as Luke's so far.
Oh.
He picked the Lions to beat the
Oh
Eagles.
no! So there's one difference.
Wow.
Oh, he picked that
He
upset
picked
as well.
the football team. Okay. Same. Everything the same. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Lions,
it's the Eagles game. Wow.
Sometimes I pick the Eagles and just hope. This week I actually think they could pull it off.
I mean, you said at the beginning of the year that you would pick the Eagles in every game except for when they played the Chiefs. And
I honestly probably...
and the Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you were right. They lost to the Chiefs and the Bucks. So, you're what, 2-3, or you're sorry. The Eagles have played 7 games. You are 4-3 on correctly picking Eagles games. So not bad.
Could be worse.
Not bad. Over 500. So that is Parker's picks versus Peglia's picks. Luke will still be losing
No
next
matter what.
week, but you could be 1 game back.
Could be.
And then if you pick different than Parker and win on Thursday night, next time we're back here, you're tied.
But even though I'm losing, both our records this year are so amazing.
Yes.
Like, they're crazy good. We've gotten good at
Fantastic
this.
years.
Over the last 2 years, we've gotten really good at this.
Yeah, well, as good as you can get.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, it's the NFL. It's random. But you guys, you've definitely maximized your picks. It's very impressive. Especially Parker, who the first week went 7-9.
Yeah.
And has just turned it on ever since. He pulled an Aaron Rodgers, where
Yeah.
he had a pretty bad first week and then
turned it on and went
boom.
haywire.
no, I think went haywire connotes like something went wrong.
Oh.
He
Went berserk.
Yeah, there you go. Luke, who's been looking hot this week?
Ooh, who has been looking hot this week? Just recently looking hot on Friday night was the Braves pitching staff.
Oof.
They threw a not one person, but they threw a combined.
Yeah.
Was it actually a no hitter? I don't think
almost had a no.
Yeah, it was almost a no hitter, but they did throw a combined shutout.
Yes.
And while the Astros did win a game in there, I mean the Braves are looking absolutely unstoppable right
It's
now.
scary.
It's amazing.
This is another discussion.
I want the Braves to win this game because
I want the
I have
Astros to
a
win the series.
Absolute hatred for the Astros. I couldn't think of a word to put in there. Burning, infuriating.
Burning hatred. Burning
Yeah,
fury.
a burning, furious, monstrosical hatred for the Astros. Ever since they cheated, they don't deserve that title. They don't deserve any glory they got. They should literally be banned from the postseason. Therefore, they don't deserve to win this at all. I think they should be kicked out of the MLB.
So, the Patriots have had multiple scandals after Spygate and deflating the footballs and whatnot.
I felt the
Are they
same
not
way.
allowed
Well, I
into
felt the same way about the
postseason?
I felt the same way about the Patriots. I'm sure I'll cool down about the Astros in a few years because I felt the same way about the Patriots for the next couple of years afterwards. And then,
But they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but
Multiple after that.
yeah, I
But
know
They won one
and
right
and
after.
every single one was very disappointing.
Yeah.
But it made it a lot better that the Eagles beat them. That made it feel
True.
so much better. So maybe if the Phillies just beat the Astros in the World Series, I'll be fine. But I don't think that'll happen.
Next year, there's a chance. Hard to say with a straight face.
Anyway,
that was,
I want the Braves to win. You want the Astros to win. We can call it gentleman's evenness.
Oh wow,
I'll be willing to settle
a
on
different
even.
reaction than what I got in our group chat during Game 1 when I was contemplating who to root for.
'Cause-
Luke said I was a disgrace to baseball. for
You are.
rooting
You
for
still
the
are.
Astros.
But
I just don't want the Braves to win.
But
I don't like the
thing.
Braves.
I don't like either
As
team.
Phillies rivals,
Yeah.
this series is lose-lose.
It really is because
For us.
I'm in the same boat as Owen where I don't like the Braves because I like Freddie Freeman. I want Freddie Freeman to win the ring. You know what? I don't want the
Just
Braves
Freddie
to win.
Freeman.
I want Freddie Freeman to win because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman totally deserves it.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
And so
I like
maybe that's more where I'm looking because I'm not a huge fan of Acuna. I think he's very good, but I just don't like him.
I don't like how good he is and the fact that he's on a rival
I don't know.
team.
He seems kind of cocky
If he were on our team, I'd love him.
Same.
And his cockiness, but
because that's kind of
Since
Bryce
he's-
Harper.
since
I
he's
don't
on a
like
different
Bryce
team.
Harper on the Nationals because he was
Yeah.
really cocky, and he still is, but he's on the Phillies, so it's okay.
it's different now. Also, he has a kid now.
Yeah, I feel like as he's gotten older, and I think
Matured
obviously
a little bit.
maturity just comes with age as well. But like, I mean, you saw him at what was he 19 or 20 when he was first.
Yeah, I think he was 19.
And he
He was
was
a teenager
he
playing
was
in the league.
Yeah, he was very immature. He was very good, but like you could definitely tell he was kind of a hothead. I think he's definitely calmed down now that he's married and has a kid.
So Bryce Harper not as hot anymore?
I think he's
Because
still.
he looked pretty hot this year.
He totally looked super hot this year, but like
His head specifically looked less hot.
yes,
And the rest
yes.
of him maintained.
His skill level maintained that
Yeah,
hotness.
yeah.
But his ego calmed down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can take that as an answer. Luke, I'm in a bit of a predicament.
Ooh, I'll help you with this predicament.
My fantasy team, I wouldn't say our season is on the line. I'm 3-4.
I'm 2
playing,
and 5.
I'm playing my brother, and I'm kind of in a must-win situation. And my team's hopes this week are riding on the shoulders of Daniel Jones.
You picked him back up?
Yup.
There's so many other options.
I want you to go to the fantasy app.
That's
and
I'm already getting
click
there.
on Daniel Jones. And
I
then
know-
I would like you
no,
to
no,
go
I
to
know-
his
I-
game log.
Actually, I already did this
Please.
to see when you had it.
Yep. Please go to. I'm so glad you've done this, just like I did. Go to his game log and read his scores. Try to guess which of these
Weeks you picked.
2 scores were the times that he
Okay.
was in my lineup.
In week 1, 30. Week 2, 52 points. Week 3, 31 points. Week 4, 45 points. Week 5, when Owen decided to pick him up, 5 points. Week 6, when Owen started him again, 8 points. Week 7, when after Owen dropped him, 33 points.
And now I've picked him back up for week 9 because he's playing the Chiefs defense. So if he can't do this against one of the worst
But
defenses
listen,
we've seen
listen.
recently,
The
let him
games that you
can't
had
be.
him start was against Dallas and the Rams, 2 of the better defenses in the NFL.
That's true.
so
At least against the pass.
yeah.
So
And the games that he did great. Denver, shaky defense. There's
Mm-hmm.
injuries over there. Washington is just in the NFC.
their defense
East.
was supposed to be good, and it was not.
Atlanta just.
They're
no.
Atlanta.
New Orleans, I feel like has a good defense.
They
I
do.
don't know how he did so well, but
I think he
did
ran the
well.
ball a lot.
Yeah. Dallas has a surprisingly good defense. I saw something that said Trayvon Diggs was overrated. I don't believe in
He
that.
is. People only focus on interceptions. He's the
What's
best.
his pass coverage look like? I haven't watched a lot of him play.
The best analysis I saw of him was that he's the Jameis Winston of corners because he gets a ton of interceptions, but he also gives up a ton of deep
Yeah.
balls. He's aggressive. He's a ball hawk.
Yeah.
So he's gonna make big plays, but he's also gonna give up big plays.
Yeah.
And it's
That makes
exciting.
sense.
He's a good corner, but people just go off of interceptions, and that's not the whole story.
I feel like that's a similar thing. I could be totally wrong with this, but I feel like that's similar with Alex Singleton. He'll give up a lot of catches and yards,
Oh.
but he'll make some really good tackles.
The Eagles' middle linebacker, yes, but I also think that his tackle numbers are a little bit
They have gone down.
inflated because he'll make a tackle.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, you could have made that tackle 4 yards
Oh,
earlier.
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah.
I don't care as much about you getting the tackle
Yeah, no.
when the guy is already gained
I saw
7 yards.
he's in trade talks right now.
Yeah. I feel like all of Alex Singleton's tackles result in like a 2nd and 3.
Yeah.
That's where he gets his tackles.
Which is
That's
not
just kind of
ideal.
unfortunate.
But anyway,
Yeah, I need Daniel Jones to
Kansas
literally
City doesn't have a
perform
defense,
for
so
1 week against the worst defense in the league.
he
And
doesn't
then
have a defense.
I traded Michael Pittman and one of my 5th-string running backs for Derek Carr. So I've got a quarterback now. Carr's on a bye this week, so
Yeah.
I just need Daniel Jones for 1 week, and I don't feel good
you
about
might
it
be better off
because
starting Trey Lance.
I also have Trey Lance. The reason I traded for Derek Carr was because I've been sitting on Trey Lance all year, and I was
2
like,
games
I
he started, he
can't
did
do
really
this.
well.
I can't wait on him much longer. I'm 3-4. If I had a better record, maybe I could sit on it. But like, I gotta win now.
Yeah.
So I got Derek Carr, and I need 1 week from you, Daniel Jones. But it's never a good situation for your fantasy team when your hopes rest on Daniel Jones. Ever. Never a good spot.
If
to
I
be
want a
in.
chance at the playoffs, I'm pretty sure I have to win out.
Probably you're 2-5
Yeah.
at the bottom of your division.
And it's not 0%,
Yeah.
so there is still a chance.
So
Annie?
you're saying there's a chance.
Why does Annie have so much less of a percent chance than I do? But
I don't understand how ESPN
we're both
app
2 and 5.
does the playoff.
But she has a 12% chance of
chances.
making the playoffs. I have a 26%
Maybe
chance.
they like your roster.
Because I feel like
more.
on
I don't
paper
know.
I have a good roster.
Maybe
but
that's why.
I feel like on paper I have a good roster. But
Oh,
like,
you do.
I don't.
You've had some injuries. Darren Waller hasn't quite performed.
to par.
Your wide receivers are
My wide receivers
a little
are-
weak.
My running backs, though, beautiful. Jonathan Taylor has been performing so well. I'm glad I drafted him over Eckler, who was injured for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
Antonio Gibson,
Leonard
who
Fournette
keeps
was a
getting his
steal in
touches
the
too.
draft, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
I'm so mad. You
because-
tried to trade him to me, and I wouldn't take it. And
Yeah,
I'm
'cause-
upset about that.
I'm glad you didn't take it. Because he's jumped to 7th. I mean, he's 7th
Overall.
position rank. In
That's
his,
crazy.
Overall in his position.
Wow.
And, I mean, he's been doing really well. And I'm very happy for that.
Speaking of our
Thank you,
fantasy
Lenny.
football, we've been talking about fantasy sports a lot. Last week we made fun of how many leagues we're in
Yeah.
many different sports: hockey, basketball, football. Last year, baseball. It was probably a little bit too much, or not last year. Over the summer, baseball.
Yeah. Which I would totally do again. By the way, I won that.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Your team went 19-2, and
Yeah.
then went through the playoffs. I almost beat you though. I only lost by 100 points in the championship,
Only
which
100.
sounds like
Which,
a lot.
yeah, in
but
baseball,
in
that's
baseball,
not
you
too
score
much.
like 2,000 points a week. But you joined a dynasty league.
Well,
and you're
I kind of got
very
thrown
excited
into
about
it, but I'm so happy I got thrown into it. So let me give you the backstory. I don't know when this league started, but my team is 3-11, meaning 14 games have been played. So I think it started beginning.
How have 14 games been played and there have only been 8 weeks in the NFL? How does that
They
work?
maybe they started.
Or 7 weeks in the NFL. Do you play 2 games a week? Because the Eagles are 2-5. That means there have been 7 weeks. We're going into week 8. So 7 weeks have been played, and you've played 14 games. How does that make sense? This is a weird dynasty league. How do you lose twice in one
And
week?
maybe it didn't start this year. Maybe it started last year. Maybe they started middle of last year.
Interesting.
Anyway,
wouldn't
that
it reset at the end of the season anyway?
I feel like that's unimportant.
I think you need to figure that out. I think that's very important. You don't have to figure it out right now.
Okay.
But at some point, I would like
Anyway.
an answer as to why that's your record.
This is one of my dad's colleagues runs this league, and he asked my dad if we would be interested in doing it, and so we kind of got thrown into it because the reason there was a spot that opened up was because I guess this person who had originally had this team didn't draft very smartly or well, and ended up being 3-11, and they're in last place, and they
they're
really had
they're a quitter.
Yeah, and they really have a bad team. They didn't manage it well at all. And so, on that note, we adopted it, and I'm working to make this a better team. And this year is literally just tank and rebuild. I don't care if I win games. I'm trying, because right now I have the first overall draft pick. So I'm trying to, hopefully there would be a good prospect. Preferably a running back, because my running backs are struggling a little bit, or are just non-existent.
Yeah.
I mean, my starters are Zach Moss and Elijah Mitchell. Those aren't starting running backs. Neither of whom are, like, this guy is Jonathan Taylor and Austin Eckler. Like, I really need to upgrade my running back game. Wide receivers, I feel like, are not great.
Your whole team is not great.
Yeah, nothing
you
on
could
the
go
team
down
great.
the whole.
I have Travis
This
Kelce
isn't
and
great,
Darren
this isn't
Waller.
great. Oh, so you're set
So
at
my
tight end.
my tight ends are
You're set.
very good. Maybe they just went really for tight ends. I don't know.
So what do you think you're
Yeah.
looking to do? Do you think you'll focus more on trading for like young players who could
I also have
potentially
Jerry Jeudy.
become a lot better? Trading just for like a zillion draft picks? Which Howie Roseman do you think you're going to be? The draft pick trading Howie or
The one that drafts a good
the
quarterback.
the free agent maneuvering?
No, my quarterbacks are Trevor
player
Lawrence
trading,
and Mac
Howie
Jones,
Roseman.
so that's a little tough.
You got young guys.
They're young, so that's the thing. It's a dynasty league, so if you're not familiar with how that works, the original team that's drafted, you keep that team and you just draft rookies.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like you're running an NFL franchise, pretty much.
Yes.
So having young guys like Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones who aren't performing super well right now, but could be later down the road because they are talented, in my opinion.
You're playing
like,
the long
it could
game
be.
with them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
you're playing
great
the long
yet,
game.
but quarterbacks take a while to develop because
Yeah.
it's a very difficult position. You have to get used to
Yeah, I
NFL
feel
game
like
speed,
similar. I feel like it's going to be a
all that
similar
stuff.
thing with Zach Moss because he performed well in the games where he got most of the carries, and once they phase Devin Singletary out completely,
Yeah.
he'll be their primary running back.
So this NFL draft is a really good draft for you to have the number 1 pick because there's not a ton of offensive talent. So the options are going to be very limited after
Yeah.
maybe the first like 5 picks. It's because there's, I think, 7 of the top 10 players in the draft this year
Yeah.
are defensive players. So that works out really well for you. If the Eagles do draft a quarterback, like it's been rumored, will you draft that quarterback for your dynasty team?
No. I'm not stupid.
Oh my word, that's a transition to the rumors that Howie Roseman, shocker, is interested in drafting a
I feel
quarterback.
like at this point it's not even a rumor because he just does it every year anyway.
Quarterback Factory. We should make Quarterback Factory t-shirts.
We honestly, yes.
That'd be kind of funny. If he drafts a quarterback this year,
I mean,
we'll make
we should make
Quarterback
the
Factory
O
t-shirts.
in Factory Howie's face.
Or it's like QB Factory, and the Q is Howie's face.
No.
You'd have a little line there. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be better if it
Quarterback
was the O.
Factory. We could do that, yeah.
Anyway, that's not important right now.
We
But
could
we totally
spell
should.
it with quarterback's numbers that he's drafted. 1, 11, 9.
How do you
How many
spell with
quarterbacks
numbers?
has he drafted? Well, ones would be L's. There's no L in Quarterback Factory. We'd have to make it. I'm trying to think of how we would make it a better graphic than just writing Quarterback Factory. We'll come up with something. We got time before the draft. But I do want to. We haven't really talked much about the Eagles in the grand scheme of things. We've talked week to week. They're not good. People are outraged that they're not good, as if they didn't expect this team to be bad. Like, we went into this season knowing that the Eagles weren't going to be anything special.
Yeah, no. I think my take. Parker had the hottest take of, 4 and.
He had them winning 3 games, I believe.
Hey,
3
he's
and
on,
14.
He's on track. We've only won 2.
I think they'll get.
I hope they
Another
get more
one.
than one more.
Yeah.
But I think I had them going either.
I had them 7 and 10.
I think I don't remember what I had them. I had them 8 and 9 or 6 and 11. I don't remember which one I said. But
Not a playoff team.
no.
Nobody had
Below
none of us,
500,
Yeah.
average.
No
not even
smart-
average.
No
below
smart
average.
Eagles fan had them going to the playoffs. So I don't know why people are outraged at Jalen Hurts and like the whole defense and our weapons for not playing well. It's like, yeah, you can expect them to try to be better, which
Yeah.
they're doing. They're trying to grow into plants.
My
like
take on
Sirianni said.
the grand scheme of things here is we're in a rebuilding stage.
Yeah,
and
this is
we've
gonna
got
happen.
a young receiving core who's going to last us. It's not like with our defensive linemen
Well,
who are
Jalen Reagor is,
well, yeah, but it's not like our defensive linemen who are getting on and are eventually going to get out of there because they're old. Like these receivers will last.
Our
us-
whole offense is young.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we have time to work with it. It's not like we need to rush and win a Super Bowl next year. Like we've got time to work with it. It's our defensive line that we need to, our defense in general that we need to rebuild right now because they're old or bad
And this is the perfect draft to do it.
or both, old
Or
and bad.
Both, yeah. I love Philadelphia sports fans. The culture is amazing.
The
People are
camaraderie.
very passionate. But I do get very annoyed by how impatient we are. So many Philadelphia sports fans are like already saying fire Sirianni, bench Hurts. Benching Hurts is the worst thing you could possibly do. Why would you bench Jalen Hurts? There's absolutely no reason to do that. He's trying to grow this year. If you bench him,
Yeah, he's
that
not
either
gonna grow.
stunts his growth
Unless-
or you don't get any analysis of
Yeah.
how good he is.
Yeah. And unless Howie is 100% dead set in knowing who he's going to draft with that,
Yeah.
if he's going to draft a quarterback and he does want to bench Jalen, I would not be upset with starting Gardner. Gardner's good. I feel like Gardner is underrated.
I would rather maybe next year. I'm completely against starting Gardner Minshew this year because
yeah.
that's starting Gardner Minshew would be like, hey, we're trying to win, and we don't have to try to
No.
win. There's no point.
But if we want to draft a rookie next year,
Yeah.
work with him in the offseason, work with him during the season, but not by starting games. Pull a Niners, you draft Trey Lance, they start Jimmy G.
Yeah.
I think Gardner Minshew is underrated, and I think he could play a decent season next year. Enough for us to
Keep us afloat.
keep us afloat. And then in that time is when you're training your young rookie quarterback. Just because they're a rookie quarterback doesn't mean they need to start. I mean, look at, like I said, Trey Lance. He's not starting, but I think Trey Lance is good.
And we make fun of Howie with the quarterback factory and everything. I'm not necessarily opposed to drafting a quarterback in this year's draft if Jalen keeps playing the way he has, which at the beginning of the season we said worst case scenario is he's mediocre. Like, you either want him to be great or terrible, so you can easily make the distinction. He's been mediocre, which is exactly what we didn't want. So if he keeps playing at this pace all year, sure. Because in the NFL right now, you either are trying to get a great quarterback or you either have a great quarterback. There's no, like, in-between. Only the Titans with Ryan Tannehill have the in-between of, like, yeah, our quarterback's pretty good. You can make the argument that the Browns have that too with Baker Mayfield. But, like, if you aren't sure if you have an elite quarterback, I'm totally fine with doing what the Cardinals did and just drafting a quarterback and then drafting a quarterback and then drafting a quarterback, because the rookie contracts are so cheap that you can move on from them really quickly without many issues. So you can just keep drafting quarterback after quarterback after quarterback until you find the elite guy, and then you're set for 10 years and you can build around him.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like buying more lottery tickets. I would rather you use 4 lottery tickets than 1 because you're more likely to hit on that quarterback. So
I just hope we hit that quarterback soon because we do have those young receivers.
I'm fine with how he's strategy. I'm not fine with his drafting abilities.
Yeah.
So I like how many lottery tickets he has, but I don't trust him to use them correctly.
I agree with that. That's a good analogy. Almost as good as my one earlier in this episode.
The Hitler Michaels one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you go Hitler? There was no, like,
Should I have gone Stalin instead?
If this is, like, if there's a line, a spectrum of levels of evil you could have gone with, why did you go straight to the top of the end of that spectrum?
What should I have said? Like
you could have
just a
gone
killer, just like an average killer, just
you
like
could
your
have,
average
no,
murderer?
even killer.
A bully?
Killer is pretty far up
A
on the
bully?
scale
A
by itself.
bully.
Yeah, you could have gone with something a little more in the middle of the spectrum, something a little more tame, like a bully. Yeah, but no, you went murderer, and then you're like, no, that's not enough. Hitler. Like, you leveled up your already kind of extreme analogy. I don't. Yeah.
Anyway.
If you were to use Howie Roseman in an analogy, I used lottery tickets for his drafting strategy. But just Howie Roseman as a person, if you could give us an analogy, that would be great. I really just put you on the spot there. I'll kind of filibuster to give you some time. Howie Roseman, Eagles GM, is a strange person in that he is a genius when it comes to doing every job that the GM has to do, except for drafting. He's great at trading for players. He's great at trading to get picks. He's great at finding practice squad guys who come up and are good. He's great at then flipping those practice squad guys for more picks and players. He's great at managing the salary cap, getting free agents. He's so good at everything a general manager has to do, but he cannot draft well to save his life.
Mao Zedong.
What? Is this a Marvel thing?
No, this is...
Wait, I think I know who that
is. Okay, so
the
this
dictator?
guy was a dictator in China a lot of years ago. And basically he led China into, like, an amazing economy. Like, he did everything right. He did an amazing job at everything he did leading China. But then he made one mistake. I don't even remember what it was.
That's fine.
But he
you keep going.
created a mass famine over China and literally caused mass genocide in China and killed millions of people in the process.
Kind of like, that's the equivalent of Howie Roseman drafting J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and Jalen Reagor over DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson. A hasty, unscientific decision. He created the Great Leap Forward, which was an attempt to modernize China. So basically, he had a campaign where he was like, hey guys,
so he was doing everything great
forward,
and wanted to take another step forward, but in the process created an immense famine and created mass genocide in China. And look up how many people he killed.
We don't have to get into that detail. Why?
Because it's like a lot.
Okay, that is a really good analogy, though, because Howie Roseman built a Super Bowl team, beat the Patriots, they won the Super Bowl, everything's great. And then Carson got rid of Carson Wentz, got rid of Doug Peterson, drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf, drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, and that's pretty much the same thing as destroying a country.
And killing millions of people.
Exactly the same thing.
Essentially the same.
That's what analogies are for. That was really good, Luke. I was impressed with that.
I was too.
That's so messed up.
We're
comparing-
talking end of spec. We're like two
I'm
different ends of
trying
the
to-
spectrum: football and
We're
a dictator in
comparing-
China that committed mass
We're
genocide.
comparing
But
a
it's
team
controversial
going 2
mass
and
genocide.
5.
It's controversial mass genocide because, like,
Do we
he
really
didn't.
want to keep talking about this?
No.
Oh my word!
Have you seen the safety out of
It's
Notre
a
Dame,
controversial mass genocide.
Kyle Hamilton?
Ah, yes, the Eagles must draft him
That's
with
what
their
I'm
first
saying.
pick.
We can
Next,
draft a
Brian
quarterback,
Dawkins.
but we need this because our defense is so shaky
Yeah.
and bad and old, and we need this good safety.
Hopefully, the Eagles go Kyle Hamilton, and then either a defensive lineman or a linebacker,
Yeah,
and then a quarterback.
yeah.
Because we're gonna have 3 picks in the top 15,
Yeah.
which is part of how he's genius.
He
He traded back, got an extra first-round pick, and got Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
Great move. Now, can you draft a guy with that pick?
Yeah.
Probably
Or
not.
3.
Yeah. So it's the Eagles, I think, as of now, have the 3rd overall pick from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They themselves have the 8th pick, or the 7th or 8th pick, and then the Colts have like the 13th pick, which is just, if you're trying to rebuild a team,
3
3
top
15
15
picks
that's
is how
crazy.
you do
2
it.
top 10 picks alone is crazy.
Yeah.
And then to have that 13th pick as well.
Pretty much unprecedented. I don't think
if
I've
the
ever
Colts
heard
get
of that.
if the Colts get worse and we get 3 top 10s, I don't even
That's insane.
know how I would.
You can
Wow.
rebuild your defense
If you have
with
a third
3 top 10 picks.
If you have a third top 10 pick, do you trade for a current asset in the NFL or do you use all 3 of them?
It really depends on how much you like the players that are available. But it's great to have because it gives you options. It's kind of a win-win. It's like either we
I
get
trust Howie
this
to-
top 10 pick,
I
or we
trust
can
Howie
trade
to
for a
make
player.
that good decision.
So many options.
But if he keeps it to draft, that's when I don't trust him.
I trust Howie to make the trade for the pick, but not to make the pick.
Yeah.
Pretty much is how that works. Yeah, that's great. Parker's not here for Marvel Minute, which is unfortunate. Do you want to do 1 straight minute?
That stings because Parker started watching a new Marvel show this week.
Oh,
I would love to do a minute, but
you don't have to.
not much has happened since the last 2 episodes, and the last 2 times we talked about it, we pretty much talked about the exact same thing.
Well, then I can give you one thing. I'm gonna pitch you an idea I had yesterday.
I could talk about something. There's definitely stuff I could talk about.
Okay. Let me give you my idea, and we'll see if you want to talk about that, or we can table it for another time. I never use that phrase because I don't think it really makes sense. When you table something, it doesn't make sense that
I
you're
agree.
tabling it. They're meaning that you'll use it later.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Phrase doesn't make sense.
Anyway.
Anyway, here's my idea. I was inspired by this because 3 times yesterday I saw either like a YouTube video or a podcast doing best Halloween candy drafts.
Okay.
I listened to one of them, but I was like, wow, a lot of people are doing best Halloween candy draft. Like, it's kind of a good idea, but it's a little overused. And I was thinking, what if next week, because the Eternals movie comes out in like a week and a half, right?
yeah.
What if next week you, Parker, and 2 other people do a Marvel draft, and the 4 of you would draft like a roster of maybe 5 or 6 characters, and we would have like guidelines where it's like you have to have 3 superheroes and 3 villains on your team or something like that.
I would
and
totally
see
do
who
that.
can draft the best team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think the timing of that
Fun.
might do pretty well because people
Yeah.
will be talking about Marvel, new movie, and it would just be fun to see like you guys could each have big boards. Like we could
But
do
there-
it
there
like
also-
a draft. There could be like
Marvel,
rankings.
there are an immense number of characters
Too
in
many.
Marvel. Too many.
Too many.
So it has to be confined to the
We would have to have
23
guidelines.
or I think there's 24, 25 movies out now. Like the 23,
Okay.
23, 25, however many are out. Confined to those movies.
We can
None
do
of
that.
the outside TV shows.
Mhm.
None of the outside comics. None of the outside whatever.
Okay.
Confined to the any character that was in any of those movies you can use. And there also has to be like I feel like drafting Thanos with the gauntlet is unfair because with the gauntlet you have infinite power.
Number 1 overall pick.
Could be, but then it doesn't matter what other people draft because he can just snap
Mm.
them away and it means nothing.
Okay. That's probably
So
fair.
we can include Thanos in there, but Thanos with
Regular
gauntlet
Thanos.
is not. Regular Thanos is still very powerful.
Yeah.
But
but not unfair power.
but not unfair powerful. Like he can be taken on by Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch. It's been proved in the movies, and yeah.
There you go. So next week, 2021. What's the phrasing you would use to describe those 24 movies? Because it's not MCU, right? It'd be
It is MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
okay. So the all MCU draft.
All MCU movie draft.
Okay, there you go. So that's something to look forward to. I will be as far away from that as
No,
possible.
you're Roger Goodell.
I'm not. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. If I intro the draft and get booed,
Oh yeah,
that's a good idea.
you are the commissioner.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, as the one who knows the least about Marvel, I'll be the commissioner of this league. But that's and then we can have everybody else vote. We can make like a graphic of your teams, and we can have people vote on who drafted the best team. All right, this will be fun. Look out for that next week. Was there anything else in sports that you wanted to talk about that we did not get to? He's staring at the table for those of you not watching.
I don't think so.
It's kind of weird. All right,
to think.
that was everything I had as well. The Marvel draft. I'm just thinking about that now. All sorts
I'm
of
excited
ideas
for that.
running through my head. So a lot happening in the coming weeks.
How are we gonna identify draft order?
We'll probably have to do a randomizer.
I'm fine with
We'll
that.
put 4 names in, randomize it. Definitely
Snake draft?
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure snake draft.
Salary cap with Marvel characters.
Salary cap. We'll have to come up with like obviously the positions.
ADP.
Are there any positions other than like hero and villain? Is there like sidekick maybe?
Nah.
Like that doesn't seem
No, I think hero and villain would.
okay.
But that's also controversial in some senses.
Don't put Loki into this.
No, I would definitely consider Loki in the villain category.
Who's somebody that would be controversial?
Well, Loki could be considered controversial. I would say villain just because
Yeah.
he was primarily a villain. I mean, maybe actually probably wouldn't be that bad. I'm trying to think if there's
Okay.
anybody else that would be like...
That's good. Less for the commissioner to figure out. Rules wise, I'm totally fine with that. If there's no issues with that.
If I don't with the amount of like, since we're only drafting a maybe 6-person team, this probably wouldn't be drafted. But this is just an example of controversial. So in Thor 1, there was this giant metal guard thing that was sent down from Asgard by Loki to kill Thor, and it shot fire out of its face. And like
They
it
call
guards
that fire face.
it guards Asgard, and it's a protector of Asgard, and it's from Asgard, so it's good. But it also caused a lot of destruction and tried to kill Thor because that's what it was told to do. It's kind of like a robot, so it pretty much does whatever it's told to. So it was being bad because Loki was controlling it, and Loki was a villain in Thor 1, but it's used for good when Odin's controlling it, and yeah.
I can see why that would be.
But it's also a
bit of a
robot,
gray
so
area.
it doesn't have like a like with Loki, he like you can tell he became a little more morally good. It's a robot, it doesn't have morals. So
We may have to create a flex position.
episode 123.
This is a big week. We've got practice next Saturday.